Hi guys, it's Nick from Let's Chat, and in this video today I'm going to review my round 7 footy tips, and I'm also going to do my round 8 footy tips. So let's get into it. So first of all I'm going to review my round 7 footy tips. I tipped St Kilda to beat Port Adelaide, I got that one wrong. I tipped Brisbane to beat Fremantle, I got that one right. I tipped Sydney to beat GWS, but GWS won in a thriller, so I got that one wrong. But the next 3 tips I got right in the Dogs, the D's and my Blues, and also the Cats as well. And I also got the tip wrong for the Tigers as the Suns upset Richmond. And I also got the tip right for Collingwood versus Adelaide. I tipped Collingwood and they won by a point. So I was 2 points off because I tipped them by 3 and still Sidebottom kicked that winning point in the last minute. So this week I got 6 out of 9. So the first game for the week is Carlton versus Brisbane at Marvel Stadium on the Friday night. So Carlton are coming off a comfortable 108 point win over West Coast, and Brisbane are also coming off a comfortable win over the Dockers. So both teams were winners. So I'm going to tip Carlton, my team, to win by 12 points in a close game. So the next game is between Richmond versus West Coast at the MCG on this Saturday afternoon. Richmond are coming off a horrible loss against the Gold Coast Suns, and West Coast are coming off a really disappointing, horrible loss themselves against Carlton by 108 points, as I said before. Richmond season has come from bad to worse. Like, it's been an epic fail so far. West Coast, well, they're still on the rebuild, as you expect. So only one of these teams will get up this weekend. I think Richmond will respond this week, but not by that much. I'm going to tip them by 23 points. So the next game is between Geelong and Adelaide. Geelong are coming off a big win over Essendon. Wasn't as big as you expected because Essendon tried really hard near the end, but they still managed to win by like 20 something points, I believe. Like, Tom Hawkins had a day out. He kicked his career best 8 goals, so he never kicked 8 goals until today. And with Adelaide, well, they were leading for the most of the game against Collingwood, and they lost it in the last minute due to still Sidebottoms behind. So Geelong, they lost their first 3 games of the season, but since then they've won their last 4, and they're looking like they're going back to their premiership best. And I reckon they'll win a 5th consecutive game, and they'll win by 35 points, I reckon. So the next game is between the Gold Coast Suns and Melbourne. Gold Coast had an impressive win over Richmond, and the D's, well, they were just too good for North Melbourne. They were going to win comfortably against them. So in this game, I reckon Gold Coast will put up a bit of a fight, but in my opinion, I reckon the D's will be too good again. They'll win by 79 points in this game. So now the next game is between GWS and the Western Bulldogs. GWS had a famous victory by a point against their arch rivals in the Swans, in Toby Green kicking a miracle goal to win the game by a point. And he also got the Battle of the Bridge medal, which is called the Brett Kirk medal. I think it is, I'm not sure, but he got the medal for it. And with the Western Bulldogs, they had a comfortable win over the Hawks in Bontempelli's 200th game. So I reckon this will be a tight game, but I'm tipping the Doggies to win by 8 points. So the next game is between Fremantle and Hawthorn, both teams coming off disappointing losses, especially the Fremantle Dockers, although Brisbane are a good side, so you can't argue with that. But Fremantle, they've been the joke of the team this year. You know, they're meant to be one of the top 4 teams, but, you know, they just haven't quite done it. You know, been like Richmond. They're meant to be up there, but they're not for some reason. They've only got the 2 wins for the season, and I was at one of those wins that they had. That was at Gather Round. But anyways, Fremantle had a really poor loss against Brisbane, and the Hawks, they had a bit of a disappointing loss against the Bulldogs, but it was to be expected as well. So I don't know who to tip, but I know Fremantle are the favourites, and I'm tipping the Fremantle Dockers by 16 points. So they have to respond this week if there's any hope for finals this year. So the next game is between Port Adelaide and Essendon. Port Adelaide have been some really good form in the last few weeks. They're getting back to their 2020, 2021 form where they finished first and second on the ladder. But they made it to preliminary finals in both years, but they couldn't quite make it to the grand finals by surprise. But they're looking good this year so far, Port Adelaide. And with Essendon, well, they're doing okay, but they have lost their last 2. And I reckon Port Adelaide will win this one, and they should win by 45 points. I just reckon Port Adelaide will be too good and continue their good form. So the next game is between Collingwood and Sydney at the MCG. And it's just the first time in ages since Collingwood have played a home game against Sydney at the MCG, or in Melbourne, as a matter of fact. It's normally at the SCG for some reason, but now, this time it's at the MCG, so Collingwood have home ground advantage, but I reckon it will be a classic game once again, just like the preliminary final, where the Swans won by a point, but I reckon Collingwood will get their revenge this time since their form, the way they're going at the moment, and they'll win by 4 points. So now the final game of the week is between North Melbourne and St Kilda. North Melbourne, well, they had another horrible loss, this time against Melbourne, the Demons. And with St Kilda, well, they had a bit of a disappointing loss against Port Adelaide. 2 even teams, but St Kilda were the favourites to win. But yeah, they lost by 7 points. But I reckon this week St Kilda should respond easy, and I'm going to tip them to win by 44 points. So this week's tips, I tipped Carlton, Richmond, Geelong, Melbourne, the Western Bulldogs, Fremantle, Port Adelaide, Collingwood and St Kilda. So they're the tips that I picked for this week. And yeah, I hope you guys do well in your tips this week. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Catch you guys, and go Blues!